Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Thank you. Now enjoy the show.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Thanks for tuning in. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 13, Episode 12. Hi, I'm Ray all day. You can also catch me on IG and Threads at All Day Ray. Have y'all seen the episode this week? It was a little it was a little fluffy, y'all. Annemarie made her way through. I didn't know she was a housewife, girl. Whoa, she got to I did not know Annemarie was an official housewife. Child, where have I been? We got her on the screen there. Would everybody see? Oh, I'm sorry, I had to cover up Crystal face. But yeah, see, look. We got her looking like she looking. All right, arms. Look. Yeah, so Annemarie is there, y'all, terrorizing, sucking her esophagus. Speaking of, the first scene, child. So Kyle visits Sutton, right? And this visit was actually pleasant. I was like, oh, Kyle come back over Sutton house. Ain't that cute? I guess they made up. I'm so sick of these girls breaking up just to make up. I ain't never. I mean, if you did something to me so bad that I'm not talking to you, I'm not talking to you. I mean, I've had some adult relationships with women that I don't speak to anymore. And it wasn't me, it was them. One in particular, a business owner. Oh, I'm about to tell some business. Look, real quick. Listen. So, make a long story short, right? I had, and we was good and grown and good, y'all. Grown, okay? So, me and this girl, this other lady, we friends. And I go to her business, and she ain't, go there to get some services done. Wasn't nobody there. I'm like, where everybody at? I was told they went to Vegas. Vegas? My appointment's still on the books. Ain't nobody called and told me nothing. Now, I'm not just a client. I'm a friend. So I'm like, what's going on? So then I text her, and I was like, since you're out of town, I'm going to need a refund on, for this. Now, mind you, we have to give a deposit before we book, at the time we booked the appointment. Maybe half or whatever it was. I don't remember. It's been a little minute. And so she replies a few days later. Okay, she in Vegas. Hey, if you know Vegas, it could take a little minute to respond to somebody. So I wasn't tripping off the time that she replied back. And so I was so heated and mad and going through some stuff, y'all. I was going through. So I canceled all of my appointments that I had on the books, maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4. Because, you got to schedule to make sure you get in where you fit in, because folks be busy, you know what I'm saying? And plus you busy, you trying to get your schedule together. I mean, I ain't just somebody waiting around just for services. I have a life too. So, and plus it was a holiday weekend, and I'm like, okay, I'm about to get my nails did, I'm about to look real cute for the holiday. And ain't nobody in sight. She in Vegas. And mind you, when she get back, it was real nonchalant, real like, whatever, it wasn't, it's like, Dang. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no care, no type of girl, I'm sorry, nothing. The only thing I got was, I thought I canceled you. How could you cancel me if I'm requesting my deposit back? Because if you cancel me, I would have gotten my deposit back, right? Because in the system, when you cancel it, the money goes back to where it came from. So, okay. It was just no acknowledgement about what happened. Oh, I thought I canceled you. How could you thought, again, I was going through, so I did overreact a little bit. At the same time, like I said, I was going through stuff. Bereavement came soon after that. And I was just feeling all kinds of feelings going on. And I was trying to talk to her, and she only wanted to text. And that's the thing about people. When they only want to text with you, there's no respect. And there were some things I've seen along the way that were, disrespectful, and how she handled, other relationships with women. I knew that we probably wouldn't be friends for a long time because, reason being we ain't friends now. So, it was a time. It was a time. And to be this good and grown, going through stuff like that, there's only a few females that I really am good girlfriends with. And like I said, to know her is to understand it can be real surface level. And just to see how she treated certain folks, child, I'm better off. And I say that to say, when you are friends and there's a certain respect level, it should be there. And if y'all can't get back to respecting each other's feelings enough to want to work stuff out, and I tried and attempted, but she didn't want to, because she knew she would have had to have a real conversation with me about that whole ordeal. And she knew she would look all kinds of wrong. And those types of people who can't admit when they're wrong or face the music when they're wrong, especially in business and in friendship, those are the type of people you don't want around you. And good, and I'm glad. And like I said, it's that's that on that. But anywho, back to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, child. Kyle visits Sutton, and I'm glad that they got, to talk it out and whatnot, not what. And pretty much Sutton is complaining about Annemarie and her persistent discussions about her health. And I don't blame her, because especially talking about her the way she did, insinuating that Sutton has an eating disorder, and then tried to blame Crystal for it. Girl, you said it. You implied it. It's just that Crystal just said it out loud. Like, your girl. Now, I didn't like the way Crystal came at her, however, Annemarie, you're wrong, and I'm glad towards the end she made it right with Sutton. But anywho, yeah, so they talking about that. So now Kyle's job is to schmoove over things since she brought Annemarie to the fold. So, Miss Kyle, you got some explaining to do, because Miss Sutton didn't like it. Sutton and her esophagus. And child, that was that on that. So next we got Crystal. Sorry for covering your face, girl. Crystal actually is gossiping with Garcelle, child, and talking about all these different stuff about Annemarie, because it was a little heated at that gala they went to. And Crystal, called Annemarie BITCH, right? Child, that wasn't cute. You, see, again, you can't call me a BITCH and think you're gonna walk away without something in dismay. Because I don't do the BITCH. I really don't. That's not what I do. So, Crystal, if you watching, if you listening, stop calling. Listen, I know it's a thing with these housewives, but if we end up in the same working space, just saying, if we end up in the same working space, don't go there with me because I don't go there with nobody else. I'm like Phaedra. I don't do the bitch thing. Anywho, so Crystal calls Garcelle and talks about Annemarie, saying how she, at first, years ago, said she was an actual anesthesiologist, and all of a sudden now she's a certified registered nurse anesthetist, and she lied back then, and she's not truthful, and Garcelle is just really just going back and forth, like, well, she doesn't have any rights to, even why is she so invested? But I get it, because when you're a healthcare professional, excuse me, you study so hard and it's so ingrained that it just kind of comes natural to want to explain things sometimes, especially if your job is to always be involved with patient care in some type of way. And since she is technically a clinician, someone who sees patients for a living, it's always there for her to discuss, comment on. And it's just something that healthcare professionals do. They're always studying, educating themselves, being, and always in the fold, in the mix of patient care. So it's probably just something that comes natural to Annemarie. And I get it. Dorit's gala, homeless, not toothless preparation. Dorit and PK is going through the motions of everything. And, it seems real good. They're working together real well. He knows her so well that he's explaining to folks about the changes that needs to happen with the decor and this, that, and the third. And she is so appreciative because she knows her husband knows her well. And he, and that's what she, excuse me, a little something in my throat. I had some salad before I started, y'all. Sorry. Maybe it's a little leaf in there making me a little. Anywho, sorry about that. And so I can see how Dorit is grateful that her husband has her back, because she has been wanting it so much, based on the current events of them disagreeing about whether she's obnoxious or is she really going through PTSD. Child, that was something, huh? So we back with Crystal, right? She's meeting with her brother Jeff, and he comes in from Asia, I think China specifically, and he tells her how he met up with his ex and how she felt unwanted by Crystal and her mom because they're overbearing and pretty much ruin their relationship. Child, Jeff read her for filth in a nice way. Said, I'm be gone for about 6 months at least. I'm be going back home, and that I need some distance from you and mom. And that's that on that. And Crystal was just, she felt her face cracked and she had to pick it up off the ground, child, because Jeff is serious. This time he wasn't crying and boo-hooing and carrying on. He let everybody know what was happening. So next we have everybody's getting ready for the gala, right? What was I about to say? Oh yeah, everybody is getting ready for the gala. And then the joke with everybody that's getting ready is because how 2-3 years ago, how when it was presented by Dorit of homeless, not toothless, it's a dentistry initiative for the homeless, so that even though they may be homeless, they can at least get their grill together. And so they're joking about the name because hardly anyone can get the name right. It was all sorts of saying wrong. Oh, they're toothless and homeless. And it was just, and Dorit was they was getting on Dorit's nerves. Let's just say that. They was getting on Dorit's nerves. We're not saying the name right. I mean, hell, if you can say RHOBH, you can say homeless, not toothless. So everybody who's getting the whole cast getting ready, and whoever's with them, or they're just making jokes about, so you're getting ready for the homeless, not toothless. Everybody's getting it right and saying it slow, like wait, and we're getting ready for the gala, homeless, not tooth. Like, okay, let me say this right. OMG, it was just too funny a little bit. And but that one car ride with Kyle and Mauricio was real intense. Kyle pretty much made it. She was upset that he didn't come to her gala for her best friend's mental illness situation from the previous episode, episode 11. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch my review, y'all. It was very telling and very interesting. Anywho, she was a little upset about, you can see it in her. She was just real stressed in the face, real stressed. Like she was dusted. Let me tell you this. She has on so much makeup, but she looked real stressed, and Mauricio looked real relaxed. Child, all right. But she was, saying in her confessionals that, because she has trips coming up, and Mauricio is just now finding out pretty much at the last minute. Well, she referred to it as a tit for tat type of thing. Well, now you see how it feels that I'm leaving now, and I'm like, that's real petty, especially if it's part of your job and that's your husband. And he doesn't seem to be petty with her. I mean, women carry their emotions on their sleeve, right? Guys tend to hide it and take care of it in other ways. So who knows behind closed doors and when they're not filming what he's doing and saying. But she's obviously resenting him for not being there with her during that gala she had for and honoring her deceased best friend. So that was interesting in the car, child. Real interesting. But like I said earlier, how Crystal called Annemarie a bitch. It happened here at that gala where Annemarie, made it in with her husband, and pretty much they started in on her right then and there. It was Crystal, Sutton, Erika, and Annemarie showed up. Husband left. He got his butt out of Dodge. And Sutton just let her know, stop talking about me and my esophagus, especially behind my back. And that's when Crystal chimed in and said, yeah, you said she had an eating disorder. And Sutton was just taken aback. Girl, she almost fell out. And there were some disagreements between Annemarie and Crystal. That's when Crystal mentioned how she lied about who she was and what her job was. And then Annemarie said something interesting. Crystal wanted, this is what Annemarie said. Crystal wanted to go to medical school, and because I did, she's taking it out on me. That could be correct. I mean, there could be some jealousy, some envy there. Who knows? But I don't know. You may be reaching, Annemarie. You may be reaching on that one. But, Crystal didn't have to call Annemarie a bitch for all that stuff like that. And Child Taylor Dane was there, y'all. Take me to my home. Tell me I'm the only one. Is this really love or just a game? Child, don't mind me singing, y'all. I really like to sing. I'm not a... Hey, I got 2 or 3 good notes. I'm gonna tell you right now, I can do 2 and 3 good. I don't know which ones they are, child, but 2 or 3 good tones. But that's pretty much it. Now, I didn't really give y'all some good right there because I was swallowing. Again, I had some salad before and I felt a little bit. Anyway, Taylor Dane was there, child. Taylor getting a little up there in age, y'all, but she's still looking good. Got that, hourglass figure. She's still looking good, y'all. But everybody stood up. Taylor Dane was the ish. Was that the 80s, child? That's how Mariah Carey came up as a background singer. Check your facts, child. But yeah, that gala was something else. I tell you that. Just looking at my notes, child. Yeah, so that gala was something else. So now they planning the Spain trip. And whose Spain trip is this? Is this who started this trip? Sutton. Sutton is wanting to take everybody to Spain, so she's calling everybody, letting everybody know. And amongst the conversation that Sutton has with what's her name? With Kyle, they're talking about things and how Kyle has to schmooze it over, from the earlier conversation, and how Sutton is really needing for Kyle to get her friend together, okay? And also how Garcelle was talking with Sutton because Sutton had invited Garcelle, and pretty much Sutton is apprehensive about Annemarie coming until Annemarie spoke with Kyle, and Kyle heard from Annemarie how apologetic she was and how Annemarie should call Sutton and let her know how she's feeling at the moment so we can all have a good trip in Spain. So that's what Annemarie does. And Annemarie makes that phone call to Sutton like a bitch. She put her big drawers on, y'all. She put her big panties on and gave a great apology. She said she was sorry for her part in the whole mess. And then Sutton was like, your part. Maybe she could have left that part out. But the apology was apropos enough for Sutton to accept it and welcome her with open arms and welcome her in the fold. Gave her a great compliment, meaning Sutton gave Annemarie a great compliment about how much she likes her anyhow, and she hopes to have a better time with her in Spain. And that's wonderful. But then Crystal, talking with Erika, and Erika is letting her know, sometimes when we're in the heat of the moment, we may say things in a way that we shouldn't, but we always have a chance to make it better. But then Crystal was like, well, I don't want to make it better pretty much, but it is what it is. Maybe she won't talk to me while we're in Spain. And pretty much that's the same sentiment Annemarie gave. Well, maybe I don't want to talk to Crystal while we're in Spain. She was talking to Kyle. So it's going to be some more blow up between Crystal and Annemarie because we saw the preview, child. But yeah, that was it, y'all. That was it for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 13. Lucky 13, episode 12. So episode 13 should be real good since, it's going to be season 13, episode 13 next week, y'all. But yeah, thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate you so much. And please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and share. And please also know that I'm also reviewing Belle Collective, Love and Marriage. Those two are ending, I think, this weekend. But we have Love and Marriage DC coming up. I want to see if I can do any more Belle Collectives anywhere. But anywho, for currently showing Raising Canaan on Power, I'm filming that one. And who else? The other housewife shows, Married to Medicine. So I'm doing a doggone thing, y'all. Check me out. Check out my channel. Also, Drag Race. Yes, season 16, baby. Baby, with my homegirl, Psychic_ELB. And we're going to get it going. So, anywho, like I said, thanks again for tuning in. And here's my outro. All day,